left one biblical story, Eve, and I picked up a book called The Passion of Mary Magdalene by Elizabeth Cunningham. And in it, she rewrites Mary Magdalene's story, who is also relegated to a backseat in the Bible, and is, she's a whore, she's a sinner, she's forgiven. It's all good in the end. However, she rewrote the story as though she was more of an integral character, that she was actually a team player. I sometimes think of her as the Nancy Reagan in Ronald Reagan's ear. You know how there's sometimes those pictures where toward the end she had to tell him things. I sometimes feel like that, there was that connection between the two. And anyway, I digress. Pick up the book if you're interested. But the idea that she had been back here and now was up here made me think, maybe it's possible to retell your story and be seen in a new way. Whether you're embraced or not, or people, no, that doesn't make any sense, it doesn't matter. To have your story retold and just be out there is worth the risk. It was starting to feel like it was worth the risk. So I combined her. This is her alabaster jar and her chalice, so elements of Mary Magdalene, with the Statue of Liberty. Because, that's why she's called, Lady Liberty, Lady Magdalene. Because I felt like maybe she deserved to have, Statue of Liberty is quite revered in our culture, in the world. And, she's a beacon of hope. She welcomes people, opportunity. People visit her in droves. We've been in her crown, looking out of those windows, and it's so impressive, to be up there and in there. And maybe Mary Magdalene deserved a little time on the pedestal, So I was kind of blending the two to say, how does that feel? To have a story be retold and then be out there. So that's what I was exploring with Lady Magdalene. Moving on. So, moving on to another step in that process. Is the red spider goddess. I was feeling like my inner world was going strong, like I was saying. I was really feeling confident in it, and I really wanted now to connect with the outer world. I wasn't just saying, I was really thinking, how do I reach out? Because I feel like I started to envision those connections to the outer world, inner and outer, like a spider web. That we are literally so connected. I can see it in this room where we are a spider. And what do spiders do? They spin and weave these gorgeous webs that we just love. We don't necessarily love spiders. I do not. But I really, some people do, I don't know. They're not my favorite. But the webs, and then when they break, when one of us klutzes walks through them, what do? They get right back at it, and they reweave it, and they put it back together. And I felt like that. I felt like my world was connected to your world. And if there's a break in the connection, whose job is it to fix the web, to reweave it? And I honestly was starting to feel like it might be mine. I was really feeling like, I think I'm supposed to help fix this web. And maybe we all feel like that, and those are just the terms I had. But I was really feeling this connection, that saying, be the change you want to see in the world. That is like my mantra for life. I feel that because I feel like I'm this microcosm of this bigger world. And if I want to see more love in the world, I have to love more myself. I have to have my internal love be present. If I want to have differences in all of us more acceptable and honored, differences in culture, in race, in sexual orientation, in political beliefs, if I want to see that out here when I read headlines and I get so down, I think, wait a minute, there's something in me, the differences in me, I'm not honoring, and I'm not allowing to live together. I have parts of me that aren't developed. I have parts that are angry. I have parts that are so loving, and I might just love a little bit more of them than I do the others. And the others I just kind of hope go away and don't show themselves. Well, if I'm saying that I want to be the change that I want to see in the world, I don't want those parts to go away. I want to embrace them and bring them together. So that's why Kali and Aditi are so important to me, to bring those parts together, because I feel like that will change the world, truly. So around this time, I am, again, learning, and I learned about Teotihuacan is outside of Mexico City. Never been there. A lot of my friends have, and it's this, pyramids in this city. It was an ancient city, and one of them is the pyramid of the spider goddess, or it is story to be. And in the bottom of this pyramid, underneath, is a cave where the spider goddess lives. And she lives down there, and above her, she weaves this spider web, this veil between her and the outer world. And all day long, she weaves it and reweaves it and repairs, and that's her job, is to reweave this web. So bingo, I'm like, all over that story, because I just thought, yeah, fuck yeah. So that piece with the spider web on it, combined with the goddess of flight, is also on the walls of the pyramids at Teotihuacan. And the goddess of flight has hands here that, the hands you'll notice in Mexican art often are like, they don't quite go, are they this way or that? Like sometimes it doesn't matter, because their point is to push through the portal from the inner world to the outer world. They move through and move into the world back and forth. And then the lotus, sacred feminine, and the feminine, kind of juicy. So drip in the sacred feminine juices as it passes through the world. So my face, my hands, and goddess of flight, healing the way. That's what this was about, moving from inner to the outer world and seeing that connection and being okay with being the one who might help reweave it. Again, I say that so tenuously because I'm just doing this on my own and just thinking. But at this point, I'm feeling like I can at least carry it in my body as I walk through the world. Even if I don't talk about that, it doesn't matter, because it's starting to realize that that's not the point. The point is how you carry yourself and how you move. And I was learning that with this one. So, the piece de resistance is Athena. And I say that because she's in this one. And
Sorry.
ooh, there's a spider. Yeah, I just broke his web. I'm sorry. You just stay right there. I'll put this over here. Okay, but Athena